Hello, everybody. Welcome to Minecraft Survivor Season 3 interviews here. And today, I'm with a fresh new face here, and I'm so excited to get to know them and for you, the audience, to get to meet this person who is going to dominate this season. So, please welcome Corlin.
Hi, thanks for having me on, JJ. I'm glad to be here.
I mean, it's a pleasure to have you here. You made it through the whole process, and you've earned your spot here. So, thank you for coming out.
Yeah, it's great. I'm still fairly new to this, despite the fact that I have a longer history with these kinds of things than some might think, but because I've been away for so long, it's kind of like a fresh start, and I think that's pretty cool.
All right, so tell us your name, your age, your occupation, a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am Corlin, short for Corlinium, a 23-year-old former bean counter, unfortunately, and sorry, what was the last thing you wanted me to say?
A little bit about yourself.
Right, so I'm still relatively new to this scene. I enjoy stuff like these Minecraft survivors. I've just found that I really like these tiny, more nested communities. Like, I'm into stuff like I rotate through a few different interests at a time, but one thing I keep coming back to is these weird, smaller communities that are odd niches. Minecraft Survivor, of course, but there's also stuff like Ninja Warrior competitions that are held in Halo, the Marble League, which I'm sure some people know what that is. But there's also NASMARB, which is die-cast car racing, but with marbles as the drivers. Even experimental roleplay content on YouTube, and even now I'm working on a few video essays just analyzing Danganronpa fanfiction, just to give you an idea of like how how much separation there is between all the different areas and circles I'm in.
So it sounds like you have a lot of widespread connections and experiences here in a game like Survivor where you're going to meet people that you would never meet in your normal life. How do you think that'll correlate?
I think it'll correlate pretty well. It's important to at least be able to get along with people, see where they're coming from, and I just think that having all these different kinds of experiences is very valuable. I'm not too active in terms of really putting myself out there, but I have spent a lot of time just trying to understand who I am and just trying to present myself as someone who, if nothing else, is like a shoulder to lean on. I'm glad to just help people with whatever they're doing, or trade ideas, as I do enjoy some creative writing in my spare time, although it is more of an on and off thing. Just anything creative, I'm glad to see what people are up to.
Okay. So going into this season, what puts you above the competition?
I'm not sure I'd really put myself above the competition in any way, but but in some ways, that's kind of what makes me particularly. I think that's what makes me a bit more threatening, because I mean, you look at my skin. I'm a ghost, basically. People won't see me coming. I'm not very good at challenges. I tend to make the top half on a good day, by my own definition, and I don't really put myself in the leadership role unless no one else will step up, or unless people really want me to do it.
So in Soccer's Minecraft Survivor Season 1 and 2, the winner both received $100. If you win this season, what do you get spend the money on?
I'm gonna be honest, I am a very thrifty person in real life, so I'd probably just put it away in my bank account. But who knows? Maybe I'll spend it on. I might spend it on something, but honestly, I'm probably just saving it for the future. I'm very forward thinking. I try to think about things in the long term.
I mean, so you said forward thinking. That's actually a perfect word. Do you correlate that to Survivor?
I think so, yeah. Although with Survivor and these kinds of competitions in general, I try not to think ahead too much. Like, there are times where I'll think about something like my writing and really think about, like, okay, I want to have this like grand design for how I'm going to do things. But the truth of the matter is, no matter how detailed your design is, stuff is going to be changed. You've got things in writing like killing your darlings, and in Survivor, no game is perfect. Like, even if you play a game where you are running the table bottom to top, end to end, there's still going to be things that you could have done differently, that, who knows, maybe that would have allowed for you to be perceived better. And because of that, I try not to overthink things too much. That is definitely something I need to work on. So my approach is just taking this one day at a time and just trying not to let my nerves get to me.
All right. Very well said. So, now I personally have not seen this is my first time ever meeting you, but I don't really know your experiences in the community. So, can you tell us how you managed to get like on this seat, like your story, like how did you get here?
I grew up watching Total Drama Islands, later Battle for Dream Islands, and other stuff in the object show community, and it was one of those things that, as a kid, you just have an obsession with it. And because of that, I kept trying to recreate it whenever my family was around for gatherings or the holidays, with little success, as you can imagine. But eventually, I started running into. I learned that there are people who host BFDI camps online, and I even signed up for one and came second place. Unfortunately, the one I was on is no longer on YouTube, and as far as I know, the person who made it has just disappeared from the internet. A couple of years later, I ended up running into. I actually found out about Kawaii Vinny's Minecraft Survivor, which, as far as I'm aware, is the oldest Minecraft Survivor series, at least on YouTube. And I know I'm pretty sure it's where Echo got his start, so there's some ideas, there's some basis for you there. And I applied to season 7, I made it to the interview process, but I didn't get in. It was still a very interesting experience. And after that, I left for a while. BFDI was in 2013. I think season 7 was in like 2015, I want to say. And I didn't really pay much mind to Minecraft Survivor until much, much later. During 2020, I can't even remember why I looked it up, but I noticed Andrew Yalo's Minecraft Survivor Nightmare Island. I looked into it, enjoyed that, eventually found Happy's Minecraft Survivor The Wasteland, thought, you know what, that looks interesting, I'll give that a try. Really liked that. And then started looking into and sort of started following his stuff because I really enjoyed it.
What an optimistic answer there. You gave us a full story and everything. Thank you so much for that. Okay. So you said you just started like playing on recordeds recently. So is there any person in the community that if you see here, like you're like, oh my, why are they here?
Oh gosh, I'm not really sure. I think I'll just say Theo. Not again. Not to say that I've had a bad experience with him specifically, but I did have a bit of a wild experience. I didn't have like a bad experience on the one season of his I played, but some of the events that went on kind of let me know kind of gave me alarm bells, just like, oh man, this could be a rough ride. Thankfully, it wasn't, but I could definitely see that being a problem. Really, anyone that has like a super explosive personality and is like super volatile, and has that kind of reputation, that I think could be an issue, because if they start turning it can be advantageous, but if I've got to play my strategy around that person, or if they turn their guns towards me, I'm afraid I'm just going to lock up.
Okay. So talking about like those volatile players, how do you plan on dealing with them in the game?
I am going to try and make sure to just stay out of their way, because the way I see it, they're kind of like a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. And I just got to make sure that I'm not caught in the blast when they do finally explode. And whether they're someone who takes a bullet for me, or is just someone that can get dragged to the end, that's how I'm going to try and work around them. Just don't be the one to set them off. Is my plan.
As someone who's been called a ticking time by myself, a lot of people deal with me that way. So that's a really, really smart answer. Now, one of the final questions here. What place do you see yourself getting this season?
If we're assuming a standard 16-person cast, I feel like I'm probably going to be... The weird thing is, I usually get taken out pre-merge, or I make it very deep. So it's kind of feast or famine for me. I'm gonna say that this might be the time where I'm just going to give a very conservative estimate and say I end up around the middle, so like 8th or ninth of 16.
All right. Thank you so much for this. We've learned so much about you. Now, Corlin, the floor is yours. Is there anything you want to say to the audience while you have the floor?
Well, I just really hope that however this season turns out, I'm able to make it a pleasant viewing experience for all of you and that I just won't be boring by the end of it. And is this the time to like plug stuff if I wanted, or would you
Yeah,
rather I not do that?
it's all. It's all.
What
You
just
got the floor. You got the floor, Corlin. You're
okay?
cooking.
Well, if any of what I said sounds interesting to you about the Danganronpa essays, subscribe to Corlinium Scabbard. That's my other YouTube channel. I have one video out right now. It's half an hour long. I've got a second one in the works that's proving to be a slight bit longer. I've got plans for more, and also if there is just one project I could shout out, please subscribe to Gary and Riva. He's a very chill gaming YouTuber who I'd love to see get some more success. He's also got a tabletop gaming channel where he's currently doing a playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3. And I think that's about all I want to say. I'll probably think of more stuff, but yeah, thanks for giving me that chance.
Well, thank you for coming out here. It was a real pleasure to get to know you. I am really eager to see you play. And from what I've heard, it's going to be hard to not root for you, Corlin. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.